Welcome back to 1, 2, 3 CABO. Take two, but y'all ain't even know that. It's your boy Zeke, aka Fat Boy Season, and we're here with a very special guest for the Atlanta Falcons edition. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Jerry's Cox, born south side of Atlanta, 1990. Um, Falcons, Braves, Thrashers, Georgia Tech, true Atlanta fan. Um, I don't know what else there is to say. Graduate of Tuskegee, 2013, mechanical engineering. Zeke's brother-in-law. Yeah. So, uh, yeah, let's get into these perpetually middling Falcons.
The mediocre.
Oh,
Okay.
the definition.
So you kind of touched upon it, but the first question
Mhm.
is usually how did you become a Falcons fan? It seemed like you said, you're a fan of all Atlanta, but how did
So,
that come to be?
so, um, my first memory of the Falcons is '96. I want to say '96, maybe '97. And so that's the first memory. So I was too young for the Dion era, but I heard about it from my older cousins and dad. But being from Atlanta at that time in the mid '90s, so all the teams were basically good, and the Braves were very good. So it was very, very easy to be a fan of Atlanta sports. And then you had the Falcons, right? So you have the Braves with Brian Jordan and a young Andrew Jones and
Chipper
um,
Jones,
Smokes,
Tom Glavine,
Chipper,
Maddox.
right? Like you got Terry Pendleton. So
Oh
and
yeah,
every
Terry Pendleton.
year and every year there um the postseason with the Braves was just when is it going to start? Right?
The beginning of the 14 straight division title.
Right. The Hawks were a good team, but Jordan, right? So I think so many people forget that there were a lot of good teams in that mid '90 era, and the Mookie Blaylock, Christian Leitner, Dennis Scott Hawks, they were good, but you just weren't beating. But they were good. This is a Kenny Anderson, Georgia Tech,
Mm,
Stephon Marbury, Georgia Tech,
hmm
right? Like Bobby Crimmins, Georgia Tech, when he's taking the recruits to Magic City to give them the sign, like right? We had just gotten the Thrashers, so that was kind of a new thing. Georgia was at the end of their ass streak, right? So um, this is right before they go and get Mark Rick from Florida State, but they had started to do some things. This is when they go and get now I forget it. This is when they go and get Champ from South Georgia,
hmm
who was the first recruit in a long time that you were like, oh, okay, right? So in this time, you're a Georgia fan, and but these Falcons just weren't they just weren't up to par.
Catch up,
These are the
goddamn.
these are the Falcons where like I don't know if you remember the old blackout rules, but if you were within 60 miles of where a
Mhm.
team was, you
Yeah,
had to either go to the game to see them or listen to the radio. They didn't
yeah,
come on
that was
TV.
stupid. That was stupid. I never
So
understood it.
I grew up that 1 o'clock game wasn't the Falcons. And it was never going, and there aren't no Carolina Panthers, right? There is Tampa
No,
Bay's
yeah,
too
yeah.
far. So the 1 o'clock game for us growing up was the Packers. Then it was the Cowboys,
Mm,
right? Like
yeah.
that's how
The
you grew up.
national teams. Yeah.
But the radio people in Atlanta at the time, man, you had to listen to the Falcons. And so um I just remember like wanting them to be good. Just because
Mhm.
like you're in the South, how is your football team not good? Like I didn't
Yeah.
understand I didn't understand how like just get out there. I was like, just get the players from the South and be good. I didn't understand the NFL at that time, but so I'm kind of born into it. Like nobody, mom from the west side of Atlanta, dad from the east side of Atlanta. So who else you gonna like? You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
New Orleans is too far. Jerry Rice is destroying us every time we play
Mm.
San Francisco. People forget we was in the NFC West with
Yeah,
San
which was that
Francisco,
was weird when they had the
with
division.
San Francisco and who else was it? It was us, Saints,
San Francisco and
San Fran, and the Rams? I can't remember, but I mean Jerry, they was coming to Atlanta. He got 10 catches, 179 yards before half, you know. So that's what people don't get is like the rivalry with the Saints isn't just about us like being the two
Mm,
franchises with the most black people that like go to a game.
yeah,
Those are the two cities where you can turn on the TV and visually see black people in the stadium. Not like one or
facts.
two, but like
Yeah, majority.
huge swaths of them. But we were both so bad that like, yeah, we weren't gonna beat the Saints. And I want to say Tampa Bay wasn't there at the time
It
in
was
our
it was
division.
it was San Francisco, Atlanta, Rams, Panthers when they came to the
Yes,
league in the Saints.
right, right. So the Panthers were new, and you know they had all that new money, so they were kind of good up front, like a lot of those teams were, like the Jaguars were. But
Yeah, Jaguars what
you know,
made didn't they make like a AFC championship in the first couple of
two
years?
straight, two
It's
straight,
crazy.
and a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah, two straight. And so like we were just very bad. These are the two Falcon Saints teams where people wore bags to games,
Hmm.
right? So your hatred for the Saints goes back farther than me. But for me growing up, like this is our only wins. Like this is the only way we can win a game is if we beat y'all. And then it gets a little deeper later on. We'll probably get to that later. But yeah, man, that's how you kind of get into it. And the truth of the matter is like once you make a choice, no
Hmm.
matter how old you are, you stick with it.
Yeah.
There's a certain time when you make a choice about who you're following. In 96, 97 is when I said, I'm Braves, I'm Falcons, I'm Florida State.
Okay.
And so it's just those. And Georgia Tech was good, but Bobby had it rolling in Tally, and they were on TV. And they were the only
Hmm.
team you couldn't see a Georgia Tech game, but a Florida State game would be on at midnight at my granddaddy house,
Yeah.
the late night on that old like what's that old Southern channel they had? Like you could see Sun Sports in Atlanta at like 2 a.m.
Mm.
So that's when I made a decision. And
Okay.
man, some days I want to give it up. The Braves came back around, but these Falcons,
Yeah.
boy, like in
Falcons,
my lifetime, 3 good seasons.
the Falcons going Falcon. But yeah, like you said, you make that decision with your teams and you stick with them.
And you
You
stick with
know,
it.
for me, Cleveland Browns. I've seen 0 and
South
16.
Carolina,
I've seen
Cleveland Browns.
I've seen 1 and 31 in 2 years, man.
Yeah,
Duke Blue Devils, a lot of success there. That's like the only successful team for
yeah.
real. Atlanta Falcons, when I paid attention to baseball, which was, Turner South,
Yeah,
TBS, Fox Sport, FSN, all that was rocking.
yeah,
Every night used to watch the games.
yeah.
Miami Hurricane, kind of the same reason you like Florida State.
I can see that.
Always was on TV.
Yeah,
And
because you come into that early 2000 Miami. That's when
mhm,
you started to pick it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And by then I was like, bro, why we can't beat them?
Your camera's shaking.
Yeah, yeah, the old Orange Bowl that smelled like piss. And they had the if you go to the old Orange Bowl, they had the sewage pipes as you walk, like you know how you go to your
Mhm.
section,
Yeah.
they were visible.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they sprung a leak. You know exactly what it was.
Oof. I'm
But like,
good.
man, that thing
I'm
was
good
a
on that.
that was in little Haiti,
Mm-hmm.
and you talking about the environment. It only sat like 45,000.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe I'm a little too high on that. Um, but man, when they were rolling early 2000, gee, you'd be like,
Yeah. I loved
this
it,
is,
bro.
and they were in the Big East, so it was like,
Oh yeah. It was like if you beat Virginia Tech, you good, basically.
oh well, when you start seeing them, Syracuse was still kind of like one of those teams,
Mm.
kind of those post McNabb teams are still pretty
Donovan
good,
McNabb.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But VT was coming at the same time.
Vic.
And so it was like the conference of like, yeah, Vic starts it. That's D'Angelo Hall. That's a whole nother podcast
Mm.
for like
That's a
college
whole
football
nother one.
people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, them some good days, man. But
yeah.
all right, man. So your Falcons, I think they went 7-10 this year, which is actually
Oh,
more wins than I thought they would get. Offensively, they were middle of the pack in passing, bottom 5 in rushing. Defense, middle of the pack in pass defense. AJ Terrell had a really good year. Bottom 10 in rush defense. So you got some pending free agents. Cordero Patterson,
who
Foye Aluakon, Cordero Patterson
who
from South Carolina.
who was our best wide receiver and running back?
Cordero Patterson. Uh, Russell Gage, and
Who?
maybe our most important free agent, Young Wei Koo. And well, it was
Listen to
Dante
me.
Fowler, but y'all actually cut him. So
Listen.
he's up on.
I want you to explain. The Falcons, more than any other team, their off season, if you compare it, are the same type of off seasons as bad teams.
Yes.
Meaning that when you say certain names about who's a free agent on a bad team, you be like, oh, you can find somebody else.
Mm,
But this is supposed to be a team that's like you want them to be. The Falcons should be. I'm not saying they should be top 6, but the Falcons should always be top 12. With the money that they have spent and the engagement of social media and fans, the Falcons should be top 6. They should be
that's the
like their
thing,
free
though.
agent name should be better.
But that's the
We
thing,
can't
though.
sign the kicker. We can't re-sign the. Listen to me. You telling me we can't re-sign the kicker,
Hey,
who's
I'm
our
really hoping.
fourth, fifth best player?
I'm really hoping he come to Cleveland. We need a kicker, bro. He's good.
Listen,
He's a
I
good
want you
kicker.
to.
Like we really
So,
need a
so,
kicker.
so I want you to understand this. Let's take the names you just said.
Yeah.
The fact that Cordero Patterson is a wide receiver,
Mm-hmm.
damn good wide receiver at that, right?
Mm-hmm.
In his time, had to go play running back
But
because
here's
we
the
couldn't
thing, though.
find one. Because we couldn't
He
find one.
he been playing running back his whole life, though.
True. So he went to Tennessee and became wide receiver, and he gets drafted as a wide receiver, and a special teams. We
Yeah,
won't
and
even
he
play on
didn't do
special
that.
teams.
Yeah, you
Dude, we
can't.
we didn't even play on special teams. We
You
can't.
can't. We're
We
like, all right,
can't play on
go.
special
We
teams.
want you to run. We want you to catch, and we want you the return kicks and punts.
Just
And he,
in
like you
my
said,
head,
he was an all pro returner, all
I'm
pro
just saying
returner.
in my head, the people that we're saying we want to resign. You got the Packers talking about can we resign Aaron Rodgers and
Devontae
what's their wide
Adams,
receiver name? Devontae Adams.
and they got a couple other ones too.
Right. Tampa Bay talking about will Brady come back to us? We talking about what we gonna do with young Koo Kim. We hadn't even got to the defense. Like, so when people talk about 7-10, I'm still trying to figure out the 7. Like, if this right,
They,
so if you go look at it, like if you look at the 7,
y'all beat up
right,
on some bad teams.
we lose to the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Lose
Oh
to the
yeah.
Bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go beat a bad Giants team by 3 points. Not 13, 3 points. And if I remember correctly, I think there was a field goal towards the end of the game. Like, so we only scored 17 points on them. Then go get beat by Commanders. They should have just stayed Washington.
Washington
Like,
football team better than Commanders. So.
but that D line in Washington's nasty when they were healthy,
But they
right?
played trash this year,
Then,
though. Defense was
true,
horrible this year. Yeah.
they still. I'd take outside of Grady Jarrett. I'd take everybody else on their D line,
Absolutely.
and that's not even counting
And
the
look,
young boy.
and look, I'm about to say, and probably some of them backups because they go like 5-6 deep.
Yeah,
They
right.
go 5-6
So then
deep.
we beat the Jets, right? Beat the Dolphins, beat
When
the
the Dolphins
Panthers,
were bad.
lose to the Panthers, right? Somehow beat the Saints, right? At the Saints, which I take beating that backwater infested team by any means necessary. I'll take it. Like, I don't care, right? Get smashed by the Cowboys, and people actually thought we had a good chance.
That was bad.
Right. Like, we didn't, right, lose to the Patriots. We didn't even get a point. Right. I'm just
I had that defense in fantasy. It was a great week. It had like 26 points.
Beat the Jaguars by 7. Go back and lose to the Bucks. Somehow beat the Panthers again. Lose to the 49ers. Beat the Lions. Lose to the Bills. Then the Saints come beat us. So truthfully, all the teams we were supposed to beat, we barely beat. And now we ain't got no money.
Yeah. Like what you were saying, how the like the names don't,
they don't add up for the type of team they should be.
Because like,
who you gonna go get?
Y'all, I feel like y'all swung and missed. And what I mean by swung and missed is y'all like swung and missed on the people that you did sign. Like the extension with Matt Ryan was, he didn't live up to it.
In today's NFL, if a quarterback does anything for 1 year, he's getting that extension. So as much as I don't like it, as much as I'm a defensive guy, that's just the way the league is going. That's just the way the league is. Like, so you can't put the quarterback position with everybody else, but you can say re-signing some of that offensive line that wasn't no good after the Super Bowl year.
Yeah,
giving them money, drafting Tack.
He played good.
Who gave you nothing? Then goes to y'all on the sides. Oh, I want to play football today.
He played good. Okay. He tore his Achilles though, but he played good.
First 3 years he was with us, he was a 1-down specialist, 3rd down for 3 years for a first-round draft pick.
I mean, it's bad because he was the first-round draft pick, but for us as a recycled player, being a 3rd down specialist, like, it works.
17 wide receivers and tight ends.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm trying to think though, like
O-line that's no good, and I mean outside of our left tackle, or is it right tackle?
Like, I'm really trying to figure out like who are y'all really paying, because when it came to cap space, y'all were in the negative. So like, really, who are you paying?
Matt.
I'm saying, but he not the whole, what is it, 180 or 200 million in one season. Who else are you paying?
So you have we gave Grady his money, rightfully so.
He needs it.
So he's part of that. We paid our middle linebacker, who's essentially a weak side linebacker. There's your money. I don't know how much of the Julio money is still on my cap, but I think we still got some of that. Matt is like 48 million towards the cap. Like, he's something stupid.
Yeah,
so you can't even give him up.
Yeah,
like you can't give him up.
His dead money is crazy, and he got like that same dead money for like the next 2
years. Is Ridley still on his rookie?
I think so.
Yeah. So he ain't. So my question to you is the same thing. Who did we pay?
Are y'all still paying for like a Keanu Neal?
Devonta. His money's still on there. His cap hit is still on there. Did we give Keanu an extension, or did we give the other safety an extension? I can't remember.
I would think it would be Keanu, because the other one was kind of didn't make a Pro Bowl or nothing like that.
Bro, we haven't.
I'm interested in this. Who are y'all paying? Who are y'all paying?
The question is not who are we paying. It sounds like we're not paying anybody, but they still aren't. There's still a deficit for us because we can't
That's
use them.
crazy, bro. Like
And the
it's
thing
it,
that's so
y'all got to
crazy
be
to
paying
me,
people that's not there, but or y'all overpaying for some
man,
average people.
we paying. I don't like, and then we fired our GM, so I don't know what that hit was. I mean, that don't go towards your cap, but that take money.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to figure out, like, man, what did we
Oh,
do with this
y'all
money?
are still paying Dan Quinn. I know that. Y'all still, and that goes towards the cap. Y'all still paying him. I do know that. Cause they were talking about
Man,
that. They was
listen,
like, well, yeah, he ain't in a rush to be a head coach because he's still getting head coach money
listen,
from the Falcons.
listen, listen, man, listen. And he probably, because of his contract, can't become a head coach until a certain part of this money. Like, it's probably in his contract where if you become a head coach in the next 3 years after we fire you, then whatever we paid you is what you got. And then it knows us out. It's probably one of those contracts. So yeah, he ain't looking forward to it. So Cowboys, y'all run me this little 300,000 because it's probably gotta be under 500 grand. Y'all roll me this little 450. They still giving me the 8.5.
Mhm.
I'm getting head coach money. He probably getting paid more than your boy McCarthy.
Probably,
Like, you know what
probably.
I'm saying? Like, we have made, if you want to understand the Falcons, in my lifetime, we are a fluke Super Bowl appearance. Fluke Super Bowl appearance. We had no business there in '98. None. That team was never, no one in their right mind can sit here and tell you that team was supposed to be good.
Didn't they get slapped up in that Super Bowl?
Oh, we ain't talking about the Super Bowl.
No,
Nobody
but I'm
thought they were
saying
going to
though.
win, like,
But I'm
yo,
saying
for
generally.
sure. But we were
Yeah.
going to anyway, right? Like, we had no business being there. That Super Bowl was supposed to be Denver, Minnesota.
Mm.
That was supposed to be that Super Bowl. We weren't even supposed to be anywhere close to the playoffs. But we just so happened to have this, like, crazy turnover margin, like plus 20. Oh, Ray Buchanan passed the Magic. Him and Eugene Robinson, right? Passed the Magic. Oh, this is rookie. Oh, what's our middle linebacker name from that year? He went to Georgia Tech. White guy.
Oh,
Oh, what is his name? We drafted him as our middle linebacker. He was a rookie.
it
And
was like
Ward Dunn,
Keenan or Kerner or
Keith Brookie.
Keith Brookie.
Keith
There you
Brookie.
go. Keith
So
Brookie.
we throw Keith Brookie in them at the time that we had Jesse Tuggle. Jesse the Hitman
I remember
Tuggle.
I remember him.
Right? Jesse
Mm-hmm.
Tuggle was good for a really, really good hit. Other than that, he was gonna miss the hole. He was gonna miss that play. Like, if he could line you up, he was good. But when you young, you just see a big hit. But see, once he leaves and then you get Keith Brookie in there, like, any good running back destroyed him for the rest of his career. But we had no business in that. We had an old Chuck Smith, like old Chuck Smith. We got him as a free agent, but that's because he was kind of on the back end of his career. He was still plenty good. I mean, in terms of NFL, but in them, you talking about going up against the Cowboys were kind of on the downside at that point, but Packers are still good at this point. In the NFC, who else was good at this
Like
point?
I said, Packers, Minnesota.
Right.
What about San Francisco?
Yes, this is a Terrell Owens, San
Mm-hmm.
Francisco. Like, we ain't got no business. We have no business being 14-2. 14
Damn,
and 2.
I
Yep.
didn't realize that.
The two best records in the NFL. Minnesota went 15-1. We went 14-2, and one of our losses was to Minnesota. So essentially, you could have had two teams in the NFC being 15-1. We had no business. So you have that year. Then you get to the Mike Vick years. And the Mike Vick years get real, real weird.
That was
Because
exciting.
he was exciting. The team
Mm.
was very average. That is
Yeah,
a very average talent team.
yeah.
Algie Crumpler is a blocking tight end, right? We do have Warwick Dunn at that point later, like '04. But 01, 02, 03,
DVD.
yeah, it's the Mike Vick show. This is we had just gotten what's the name of UAB, a wide receiver. We just got him out of UAB.
Roddy White.
Roddy, and Roddy didn't even know how to run routes.
Roddy was nice.
This is Peerless Price.
Peerless Price.
This is where we kept drafting like wide receivers from Ohio State, Tennessee. Like we got Peerless Price, who was like Deshaun Watson of his day. He a go route.
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. He's a go route, deep in cut, nothing short. Right? We had Brian Finneran.
I mean, like, hey, that's a solid receiver core, though.
True, but Mike Vick wasn't a great quarterback. He wasn't a great quarterback, but we were exciting. We were exciting, and fans came back. And then you have the 04 year, and the 04 year is something dumb. This is when all three Pro Bowl quarterbacks were black: McNabb, Vick, and Dante Culpepper. And that year was just statistically crazy because, like you had that year 04, then you get to 05, and 05 should have been better than what it was, but it wasn't. Then you get 06, and 06 Vick come out humming, and then you get the dog fighting. Right? You get dog fighting early 07. Then you get the Bobby Petrino 07, where he decides to leave a note for the players in their locker, and he leave in the middle of the night. Right? And so you roll into this like Matt Ryan 08, 09. Right? And then you get a higher ceiling. I mean, you get a higher floor, but the ceiling ain't really that much higher. We're a little better. We're a little bit more consistent. The offense is more consistent, but you still expect us to lose.
Right.
And that's really everything up until 13. Now that 13 team, legitimately good, right? We have Green Bay in Atlanta for the championship game. Yes, Green Bay in Atlanta for the championship game. We lose it, and we lose it like tight, fourth quarter. Here come 14. Now, listen, here come 14. This is about to be third year Julio. This is, we get Devonta Freeman from Florida State after he won the national championship. Matt Ryan has been working with a baseball coach. He can finally throw a ball past 30 yards without having to like put his lower left butt cheek into it to throw it. Like, this is like all of a sudden Falcons Saints is like it's always been the best rivalry in the NFL, but now it's like legitimately the best rivalry in the NFL. Like these games are good. And 14, 15, we get a new offensive coordinator. They start to look a little better, and then damn it, here comes 16. And 16 just it snuck up on you, and you was like, all right, 8 games in, pretty good. And you got 10 games. I said, okay, all right, 16 games. Get to the end of the regular season. I'm like, all right, go win a playoff game. We shouldn't. All right, win another playoff game. We shouldn't. Then get Green Bay at the crib for the NFC Championship game and beat them down. Like, beat them down. Now we about to walk into a Super Bowl in Houston.
I was in the city. I was in the city for the experience.
We get up 28-3.
Snapchat going crazy.
Listen, and people forget that the Patriots legitimately don't put another point on the board until under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And in 15 game minutes. And I think somebody said we didn't get 100 yards after that. With literally the best Super Bowl catch by Julio you'll ever see.
Crazy.
They won't ever put it in there because we didn't win. But if you can find me a better Super Bowl catch,
That was crazy, kid.
and I don't want to hear about the one in San Francisco when he throws it up to Dick Clark. I don't want to hear that. Like they make that catch all the time
The
now.
only other good one was Santonio Holmes back corner,
And
Pittsburgh,
it still
Arizona.
wasn't, and that was really because of his feet. But this ball was up and behind Julio.
Mm.
His body's out of bounds, and the only thing inbounds is his feet.
That catch was crazy. Julio was different. I don't know about
And
now.
we wasted trying to get Matt Ryan the MVP. And I want somebody to tell me I'm wrong. And I, in my football knowledge, will give you every reason why anyone with any type of knowledge could have called that game to get a field goal. Anybody. That's our history, man. Like, ain't nothing else. And if you want to ask about anything, ain't nothing else. What I just gave you is the history of the Falcons. There's nothing else. Like, even the Deion years, the worst the first year. All right, that's cool. Did nothing else. And you lose Deion. Right? And so what we do before Deion? We had Charlie White, Shoes Johnson. All right, cool. What we do for that? Ain't nobody tell you. And they was in the city since 66. Nobody can tell you. That's the history. That's the history of the Falcons in this season. And the season went just the way every other of the like 50 some odd seasons have gone outside of those 3 or 4. I mean, we beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and we lost to everybody else bad.
Boom. So that's the breakdown of the Atlanta Falcons as narrated by one Jerry's Cox. So I mean, based on that and based on what prefaced that, it seemed like you don't care about these free agents. To be completely honest.
So here's the thing: we don't have the money to sign anybody, right?
I mean, you work your way.
You have to, but at the same time, I understand the NFL more than anybody else is a fit league. Like more so than any other sport, the NFL because of so many players, it's a fit league, right? The Patriots never had like a bunch of great players, but they had a bunch of good pieces that fit what they wanted to do, and they built around a good Tom Brady and a really good defensive mind that can make it work. What about the Falcons tells you that they can do that?
Okay, I got another question. Yeah. Do you think y'all should just go full on rebuild, or you think y'all should actually try to compete with Brady retiring, and with the quarterback issues in the Saints and the quarterback issues in Carolina? Should you go in and say, "Hey, we're just going to take this extra cap hit"?
Yes, but who's going to be brave enough to do that?
I mean, you might you might as well, because if you look at it realistically, you'd be like, how long do you think New Orleans is going to be without a quarterback? And then how long do you think it's going to be before one of these teams go get a quarterback? You would imagine.
Can I be for real with you about the Saints? I'm going to be for real with you. I think the same thing can happen to the Saints and the Falcons. If somebody don't get this right, neither one of them can ever really be good again. So much of the Saints is Drew Brees and Sean Payton.
Fair.
Like that is their history. Drew Brees, Sean Payton, 1 year of or a couple good years of my boy from Texas, the running back.
Ricky.
And Deuce had some good years.
Deuce, Joe Horn. Those boys.
Right. But the history of the Saints and the Falcons, they're so similar, which is why the fans get at it so much. Because the only thing that's holding the Saints above water is that Super Bowl. That's it. Yeah. Like if the Falcons don't, like the one thing they should do, and I'm not the GM, but we are in a window right now in the NFC South where there is no dominant quarterback. The best quarterback in the NFC South is still Matt Ryan.
It's Matt Ryan.
But you're not going to put him like Peyton was in the NFC in the AFC South all those years.
No.
Where it's just head and shoulders, like Brady was in the AFC East, head and shoulders. like Rodgers was for a long time in the NFC North, just head and shoulders. Like
Right.
you're not putting him in that range. Like he ain't that far away from Cam Newton at Carolina.
Right.
He ain't that far above whoever the guy. We saw that they won by 2 against the Saints, so he really ain't that much better than. I mean, if they gave Jameis, I think if somebody legitimately gave Jameis the right stuff,
Shoot. I mean, this past year, Jameis had them boys
he got hurt.
6-2
Yeah,
before
he
he
got
got hurt.
hurt,
Had
and he would
17
listen.
touchdowns, 3 picks. He was
If
playing well.
Jameis is in that game versus Saints, we lose,
Yeah.
right? So just take the 38 to $40 million cap hit. Just trade it for picks. Get everybody on a rookie. That way, the 48 won't matter that much. Start over, but nobody wants to do it because they want to say, "Oh, we're gonna push out a winner." Really?
So you want to start over as opposed to trying to go
Why would
win
we
the
wait?
division?
At some
Because
point, when Matt gets too bad that we have to let him go, you're gonna start over anyway, and you're gonna start over with what the only thing that you got. So you're gonna wait 2 or 3 more years from Matt, and you're gonna have to trade Grady, AJ Terrell, and your right tackle. That's the 3 best commodities you got. We don't know where we don't know where Ridley's at. You're gonna try to keep the tight end, the young boy, as long as you can.
Pitts, yeah.
Pitts, you're gonna keep Pitts as long as you can, so that whoever you come new at least has a weapon. So you got to get rid of Terrell. You got to get rid of Grady. What we doing? If you're gonna suck with some picks and some young boys. But then again, I don't trust the Falcons to make the right decision. I don't trust them to draft the right people.
That I was about to say, y'all like
We
you
have
think about
never made great draft picks.
outside of like the receivers that you've drafted,
And
and them
because Julio was
being
just like
obvious, them
Julio
being
is the most
obvious.
obvious pick in the history of picks. There are certain people coming out
Apparently,
that you can't go
apparently
wrong
not.
at.
Apparently not to the Cleveland Browns who traded that pick to y'all. Apparently, it wasn't the obvious
But
pick that you got.
Cleveland needed way more than just Julio at the time.
I
Cleveland
don't
needed a
care.
bunch of
I
stuff.
don't care. I don't care. We
A
needed
bunch
talent.
of
And
stuff.
so what you like? So you go get the
What
obvious talent. I don't
hey
care.
man, listen,
I don't care.
when your team needs 8 people, then you got to give up that one.
No,
And we gave y'all the
no.
barn for them. We
We
switched our
did,
ones. We gave you our one for the next year.
but
We switched our ones and gave you the 2 from the same year. So we
we
switched
didn't.
our one, gave you the 2, gave you the 1 and 2 from the next year, and like some 3s and some 4s and another 2 down the line. We didn't have a number 1 pick.
We didn't do shit with that. We
You know
didn't
who
do
y'all
shit
know who
with
y'all
that.
drafted with one of those number 1s?
Some
You
scrubs,
remember
bro.
that skinny basketball player that played DN at LSU? That was one of y'all
Barkevius
pick.
Mingo,
That was one of y'all.
bro. Like we did literal shit with those damn picks,
Listen,
bro.
hey man, I'm just telling you the genesis of bad teams and middling teams is how they draft.
Facts, facts. You see, and it's draft and development, which is
Man,
your
in
coaching
the,
staff and stuff like that. But yeah, like we were saying, I really don't remember y'all drafting all that well, like outside of like receivers. Y'all hit on obviously
ever,
Calvin really and Julio.
ever,
Devontae Freeman
ever
was a hit. Grady was a hit.
best offensive
But
lineman
like
we ever drafted. Can't name it. Outside of Grady, who's our best defensive tackle ever drafted?
best defensive lineman
Can't
you ever
name it.
drafted because what Vic Beasley had 1 year.
All right, the Grady, but Grady's better
No,
overall.
that's what I'm saying is I'm saying who's the best defensive lineman outside of
Of
Grady.
Grady,
I was expanding it because it ain't been good.
in my lifetime, um, good God, we have never gotten a first or second round outside of Grady or Vic D tackle. Like they would come second, third, or they come like third, fourth, fifth. They never linebacker wise, like on defense, the Falcons' rule seems to be the later we can get them.
Right.
Right? Like AJ Terrell's a second round draft pick, truthfully, that we just kind of jumped up on. Granted, he's worked out. His first season was horrible. And this year he turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, because coming off of that national championship game, I was like, why did y'all?
But here's the thing, though. Everybody was like, man, he got cooked, and so does everybody else. Y'all put that man one-on-one in a national championship game and said, hold on for dear life.
That's
with no safety help.
Yeah.
Now name the NFL corner that's doing any better.
Ask Kansas City.
Ramsey got 8-2 now. Like, if we gonna be for real with you, if you're gonna put somebody on the island, Deion's worst games was versus Jerry Rice. If you ain't gonna give me no help versus somebody that good, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Jamar Chase.
But I mean, he's gotten better. Man,
he played really good. He played really good. It was surprising because, like I said,
he got better. But defensively, who are the defensive names? Do we have any other defensive names on there? Were all those names offense? So are you telling me that all 11 spots on defense, we are just certified? Can't find nobody else.
Alua Khan. He a tackling machine.
True, but so was the last linebacker that left that went on. Where did he go and become a Pro Bowler? The guy we drafted out of Minnesota. Like, what are we doing? Like, how people play with us, and you know what it is. It's Atlanta. I don't ever want to mistake how Atlanta is a city. There are very few NFL cities where you as a Black person can go and you can legitimately, as a rich Black young person, be around rich Black young people. Like, legitimately be around them. And kind of get into your little corner and hide off over there. Like, you go to Magic City, you see rich Black people. You can find little pockets. I understand it's the city. Houston's a little different, right? Like, Houston, you can kind of it's not really the same. It is, but it's not. Because you can live in Sugarland and not have to go to Houston for nothing.
Sugarland ain't Houston, man.
Right. That's because they made it that way. You know what I'm saying? But Atlanta's Atlanta. It's just
that's like saying you live in Stone Mountain. It ain't the same.
But it ain't nothing like, yeah, you can live in Stone Mountain, but the city is the city. And it kind of like just, I feel like people go there and it's just like, it ain't Vegas to the fact that you just got a bunch of stuff and you may lose your money. But folk can't explain to me how, one, that city can't ever seem to get free agents in any sport. In any sport. If you can sit here and tell me, like legitimately tell me that an NBA star don't want to come to Atlanta, an MLB player don't want to come to Atlanta, an NFL player don't want to come to Atlanta.
I feel like the Braves, they never spent the money though. They always was, hey, we're going to bring them up and then we're going to ship them out and we're just going to trade for whoever we want. It's
very true.
They
had a very good farm system for a long time, but you don't even hear them in the like the news. Man, Atlanta truthfully should be like LA and New York.
It should be like a really destination spot for predominantly Black sports.
But it ain't. But it feel like people find the city and just be like,
but
they got too many baby mamas or too many girlfriends out there, something going on.
But I think it's more so because of the products that's been put out, at least in basketball and football. Yeah, the Hawks have been better lately, but like outside of that 1 year where they was like a 1 seed and got swept by LeBron, Atlanta Hawks weren't really doing too much. And then with the Falcons, yeah, you had the Super Bowl run, but like since then, the stigma behind Matt Ryan is ain't nobody really trying
to. But it's not like they're not spending the money.
And I was about to say, and they don't have the money because they giving it to people who we don't know apparently.
But they also have not, truthfully, you have never heard of a big time free agent and them be even in the running. Not even in the running. You
This
talking
is
about
true.
OBJ was leaving Cleveland. They talking about he was going to Tampa.
I heard Saints too, even the Saints.
You see what I'm saying? You don't ever hear the Falcons in that. Mookie Betts
Product on
was
the
a
field.
free agent with Boston, and Atlanta wasn't even on the table as a baseball player. Like, what? Like, you like it's just like as a city, the truth about the city, man, is like yes, Atlanta is a melting pot, but uh it's very much a sports town. It's
Mm-hmm.
very much a sports town.
Yeah.
Uh, it's very much like a track and field city. People don't see that a lot. Like it's now the state for all like the biggest AAU basketball tournaments with Peach Jam and all the other ones that they have. Like
Yeah.
I remember the Atlanta Celtics growing up that had like everybody on the AAU basketball team dunked. Like all they plays was to run the alley oops. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't sit here and say the city isn't a sports city, but our sports teams let us down so much to the point where it's not like we don't think we can win. We just know them. We just know them fuckers gonna lose it. We just know they don't have the mental fortitude to win it. We just know it's something gonna happen. Something gonna happen. Something gonna happen. That's just kind
Yeah. I don't know.
of, So we ain't
So
gonna get nobody. We gonna
say y'all
keep.
ain't getting say y'all
Hopefully
ain't
we
getting
can
no free
keep the
agent.
kicker. Hopefully we can keep. We need a
Send
Pro
him
Bowl kicker. We can't keep a Pro Bowl kicker.
the Pro Bowl kick.
Our holder went to the Pro Bowl as a Pro Bowl holder. That's how good we
Damn,
were.
can't buy no damn holder. Hey,
All we got.
so what would you say are your main team needs? I got edge rusher, receiver, O line, secondary. What you think?
Man, we don't need any more pass catchers. We can't get him the ball. We can't get him the ball. We can't throw past 25 yards. Like, no. But we need so much. We need a really good safety.
Mm-hmm.
Depth in the linebackers. Edge rusher, right? You really need somebody else inside. So Grady ain't got to do all the work. Right? Like you just need somebody inside to allow him to go back to be his true 3 technique.
Send him to Cleveland too.
Right? Probably need another corner to be truthful, because you can't ever have too many corners. On offense, bro, you need an entire offensive line. I don't want to hear anything about we need another wide receiver if we can't block for the guy throwing, and we can't run, and we can't block for the guy running. Middle of the pack offense passing, down at the bottom running. Middle of the pack pass defense, down at the bottom rush defense. All that tells me is
trenches. Your trenches are trash.
We have no trenches. None. And if you look at where the best teams at, I don't care what you say about anybody. Kansas City, when they were at their height, the O-line was good enough to pass block and run block. And the defensive line had Chris Jones, who could kind of play in there by himself. And because they were up on you by 47 points, they knew you weren't going to do anything crazy. So you became predictable.
Yeah.
Right? But what are you starting to see? When they play teams that have good trench play and you force them to have to actually do some stuff, they're not as good. Well, the Falcons are the same way. Can't pass block, can't run block. So what offense can you have? Can't stop the run, can't stop the pass. So what defense can you have? And don't tell me we're gonna bring in some guy to run cover 3. Don't tell me we're gonna bring some guy in to run quarters. It don't matter. So tell me what we don't need. Because truthfully, we can get one of everything, and we still gonna need some stuff. we still gonna need some stuff. Like we had Alex Mack at center, and then he left.
My boy Javon.
And when he left, he got good again. So it wasn't him, it was us.
Javon
It ain't
Mack.
you, it ain't you, it's me, baby. Like it ain't
Basically.
about you, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like we thought he was bad playing for us, and then all of a sudden he go to another good team and he can block.
Rejuvenate. San Francisco
Like,
eating.
man, we need all types of stuff. At some point, you're gonna need a quarterback. Like it's not this year because I don't know if I like anybody coming out this year.
I think y'all should have got Fields.
But you're not getting Bryce Young.
I think y'all should have got Fields last year. But that's just me.
I mean, man, we should have. But at the same time,
what's that Matt Ryan money kind of fucking everything up? Cause like, bro, if you got
but it always is.
this $45 million cap hit, like I don't want to sit you. Like you gotta play.
Like my man is making Super Bowl winner money.
That Flacco money. That type of deal Flacco got out there.
He is getting paid more than Tom Brady.
Oh yeah.
On Tom Brady's Tampa Bay contract, not the 18 and a half he was getting in New England. I'm talking about the 25 he was getting. Matt Ryan's making more than that.
Yeah. Matt Ryan's still like top 5 in quarterbacks on Monday. Quarterbacks getting paid. He's still up there.
Bro, we can't do nothing. Like there's nothing. There's until like you just gonna somebody has to walk in there and tell Arthur Blank, because I think all Arthur Blank really wants to do, he gonna end up selling in what, next 5 years. The man 80, mid 80s, so he gonna end up selling in the next 5 years. He's been our best owner. He's been our most consistent owner. So who you gonna sell to? Right? So you got a franchise owner changeover coming in probably the near future. New quarterback coming probably in the near future. Right? So all of this is about to change. With what? I'm unwilling. I don't really. When the Smith family owned them towards the end, they were garbage, and we heading towards the same way. Then Arthur came and bought them in late '90s. Took a couple years. We get Vic. Things change. We heading right towards that.
Okay.
He getting old. So, bro, we need everything. You could take that list and write football team.
Hey, nah, he said you can get one of everything, and we still need some more.
We still need some more. Like, we don't have any top 10 other than Grady. Name the other top 5 at their position that we have on that team. And I'm saying not the kicker.
You got potential. We got a potential top 5.
Jacksonville still got top 5 people on their team.
Well,
is Miles Jack still there? Mm-hmm. The linebacker?
He a top 10 middle linebacker?
He a top 10 athlete. We ain't got none of them.
They got Josh Allen on
for sure. Yeah, there you go. And they
but that's it. Like, they got like them two, and that's it. Like,
bro, we don't have 2. We don't have 2.
That's fair.
We don't have 2.
That's fair.
And I'm talking about there are bad teams with 2.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair.
There are bad teams with 2. Look at the Washington. Come on now.
Washington has a great roster though. They're missing a quarterback.
Look at the Giants.
You get them I don't know what's wrong with the Giants. The Giants.
Even Saquon, I take him.
They got like the offensive weapons, but they don't have a quarterback and they don't have a line.
Maybe the Jets. Maybe the Jets is the only team where you can be like, they may not have a top 5 player. That may be it.
Yeah, they ain't got no top 5 players, but they got some dudes. CJ Mosley, Carl Lawson didn't even play this year. Marcus May at safety. Elijah Moore gonna be nice. at receiver. None of them top 5, but
look, man, I take that roster. I take CJ right now.
mm-hmm.
Right now, I take CJ right now.
Oh yeah.
And they got that left tackle. They
Becton. Okay, Becton.
360 pounds and block better than anybody we got.
And I think they're gonna mess around and draft the big one from North Carolina, 6'8" on the other side. They're gonna set it up though. That's how you build a team. But speaking of building teams, man, y'all got the 8th pick in the draft. The latest mock that I seen got y'all. Well, not the latest. One of the latest I saw y'all getting Drake London from USC, 6'5". Athlete.
We don't need another wide receiver.
What have you been paying attention to the mock drafts, or at least just?
I don't pay attention to mock drafts, man. I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't pay attention to mock drafts, because they go off of like team needs, true, and then talent. And the thing that I have always learned about, like they do a good job. I'm not gonna knock them because them guys, man, like I know they're on the phone with a bunch of people and they're doing all of that. But at the end of the day, outside the top 3 no doubters, I ain't listening to it. Like outside of the top 3 or 4 or 5 guys where you like, bro, you cannot miss this guy. Those are easy people.
That's even
the NFL draft and combine starts with everybody after the top 5. That's where people make their money. Yes, can we take Drake London? Yes. All right, cool. So we put him outside. Let's say Calvin Ridley come back, right? We put him outside with Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. Let's say we bring back Russell Gage. All right, so we're gonna go 4 wide with Cordell Patterson. Let's say let's do that. We still gonna give up 35 sacks a year. We still gonna run this mesh that we running because he can't throw the ball down the field. Anybody can be covered if you're playing inside 20 yards. Sure. I don't care who you got. Like if you're gonna tell me we gonna have that's our pass catchers. Those are pass catchers. All we become is the Cleveland Browns. And I ain't saying that to be bad, but at the same time, that's what we become. And then we're gonna put it on a less athletic, older Matt Ryan. Because that's what y'all on right now. That's what y'all was on right now. Y'all got to figure out with this talent, is Baker good enough? I'm going to say no. But I'd take him over what I got right now. So listen, we can take Drake London. I've been thinking about this like as a defender. Who in college football, we're not getting Jordan Davis. I would absolutely love.
I kind of want him.
If we could pair him with Grady.
I'm like, if he's there at 13, I'm like.
Listen, if we could pair him with Grady, because that's all Grady needs. That's all he needs. He just needs a 0/1 to hold a point and let him go. And if we get that boy, now we're doing some stuff. Now, like, I'm just going to be for real with you. If he fall to 8, I kind of want him to get caught smoking weed. But then I know. What's going to happen.
He's projected like late first, mid to late first.
For what? See, this is how I know people are stupid.
They don't have no DTs going that high though. He's the first DT to come on board, I think. It's tackles and edge. The first like 10 or like tackles, edge rushers, like 1 wide receiver, and like.
So what you're saying is
the safety from Notre Dame and the corner from LSU.
So what you're saying is that he gonna fall to the Patriots, and then your boy gonna get him on defense and destroy people for the next decade. That's what's gonna happen.
They got Baltimore. I don't think they're gonna get him no.
That's what they're gonna do. Because I can guarantee you right now,
they're not gonna get him no. What's going to happen? I think he's going to
or Baltimore get him. Either way, like, so we're going to let him, let him drop past us. We're going to let him drop past us because he don't fit a scheme.
I don't know.
Tell me where you find 6'6.5", 360 pounds that can move and get low. I don't care what the scheme is. Tell me where you find it.
I thought about it I'm thinking about it at 13.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you right
Because
now. If he gets to 13, if he gets to 13, I don't care what Baker say. Baker could call
don't
me
let us
600 times in them 10 minutes, and I'm hanging up the phone. We
bro, we ain't
let him
taking no
fall.
Baker. We ain't taking no calls from Baker. Let us resign Clowney and put that big boy in the middle with
Really?
Garrett on the
So
other
you gonna
side.
get with Clowney and Miles?
Put that big boy in the middle.
Then I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna be
Whew.
absolutely for real with you. I'm gonna be absolutely for real with you. If that were to happen and Baker has the same season, it's time for a new quarterback. There's no
It's
way.
already time for me. But here's the
Yeah, I
thing.
mean,
Man, the whole Baker thing, I can go an hour on that, but
no, because
I'm gonna keep
it ain't
I'm gonna
worth
keep
an
it short and
hour.
sweet.
He ain't
I'm
that good, and he should have
no,
won the
but
Heisman.
I'm gonna
I'm
keep
just
it
gonna
short
be
and sweet.
real with you.
I don't care about that album shit. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. You'd be like, who is Baker? You got odd year Baker, and you got even year Baker. Odd year Baker is some garbage. Why? I don't know. Look, you can call it Freddie Kitchens, or you can just call him trash. I don't care.
Well,
And
you
then
know what it
you
is.
can call him hurt, or
I
you can call him trash.
even year is on his odd year for his contract, so that's when he can get that. Odd year was his third year. That was his re-up year. Missed it. Now he back into even year, which is the fifth year. He want that re-up money. So y'all will be good.
Oh, I want to say that the injuries
But there's
play
no
so much of a part in it, but then like he would have a game here and there while he was hurting. You'd be like,
this is the year in the draft.
some of that shit you're doing is just because you just trash. Because you
Truthfully,
overthrowing a wide open Jarvis Landry ain't because your shoulder hurt.
I'm gonna be for real with you. This year's draft, I don't. You can throw out the positions. This is the type of draft. This is the type of draft year where there aren't that many like big stars. This is how you set up your team for the next 8 years. How when there aren't a bunch of like when it wasn't that year, when it wasn't that Aaron Rodgers year, when like there were so many good players that Aaron could fall to late first, right? It's not one of them years. So this is not like a change of franchise year, but this is a foundation of a franchise year. So if you draft correctly, down the line you can add superstars, but these are the people that's gonna make your team.
Yeah.
These are the people that when you go to the Super Bowl and conference championships, they're gonna make plays. And the Atlanta Falcons have not shown that even in certified pick'em years that they can make it. And this year they're going to draft somebody first round. And if they say it's Drake London, the Falcons aren't one of those teams to throw out a name and then change it, right? Like they say when they said they were looking at Tack, they drafted Tack. So they'll go get Drake London. And we'll do the same thing next year. And we'll be a little bit better because the division won't be as good. But don't expect anything great. Don't expect us to go. We'll be middling again. And by Thanksgiving, everybody will be like, when we gonna get rid of Matt Ryan? And you know what? His cap hit is gonna be 50 million. His cap hit is gonna be 50 million, and we'll be doing the same thing again. So, bro, it don't matter, man. Like, it don't matter. Like, the Braves ain't playing because they can't sign a CBA. Georgia has lost like every coach they had from the national championship team and like 35 players. And they second best DB transferred to Alabama. That is where Georgia sports is right now. You can't even keep the kids off your national championship team. They going across the board. That's a whole nother podcast too. I need to put this out here. For all y'all young people from Georgia, talking about y'all real Georgia folk. Real Georgia folk don't care nothing about the state of Alabama. Yeah, I live here now. Won't be for real with you. The truth of the matter, when I was growing up, if you was from Georgia, man, Alabama and Auburn could burn. Burn. I'm from Atlanta, I'm an Alabama fan. Where did it come from? Where is this coming from? Like I do not get in my life like New Georgia people. Like it bothers me to the I'm Alabama. Just win, bro. We ain't never liked them because they tried to sue us for years for that water. That's ours. Like they've been suing us for water rights for 30 years. No, ain't no way. Yeah, I don't get it, bro. Like I don't. This new age of cats out of Atlanta is a little bit different, but also, it kind of is what it is. But
that's it. They grow up seeing Bama, man. That's all it is, bro. And they've been terrorized into this past national championship, bro. That's all.
Man, they ain't been terrorized. They just ain't been raised right, bro. That's all
it might be that too. It might be that too, man.
Right.
But last question, man. What
Yeah.
are your 2020 expectations from a record? How many wins y'all get, and do y'all win the division?
I ain't even seen them. Do they have the schedule? I ain't seen.
They got like the teams that you play. I could tell you who y'all playing in the AFC.
Who?
The AFC North.
So that gives us the Browns.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna beat the shit out y'all. The Bengals.
Yeah. We not, but y'all also Ravens, have a chance to lose to us by one.
No, we don't.
Ravens wiping us out. Steelers gonna wipe us out.
We beat
Bengals wiping us out.
We beat who we supposed to beat.
Bengals wiping us out. So at best, we can say 2-2, but I'm gonna go 1-3, right? Then we have the 6 games in our division. I'll say 4-2 in that one because truthfully, we should beat the Panthers and we should beat the Saints coming year. Man, I ain't thinking a lot about the Saints, but truthfully, I think they'll figure it out before we will. But let's just say on the good end 4-2, but I'm gonna say 3-3. So that's 1-3, 4-2. What am I at? 5-5 right now. 1-3, 5-5 right now with 6
you
left.
Said 1-3, and then you said 3-3 for win.
No, I'm gonna go with the best, 4-2. I'm gonna go with the high end. 4-2, 1-3. Put me 5-5.
And then in the NFC, y'all play the West. Y'all play NFC.
Oh, lost Rams, lost Niners, lost Arizona. I think we get Seattle. We get one of Seattle, Arizona. One.
So 6.
Who we get? Do they say who we get at home?
They do, but I don't know who.
If it's Rams or 49ers, we lose. So we'll go 1-3 there. So now we're up to 6-8.
Y'all finished what, 3rd in the division? Y'all finished 3rd in the division, so that means y'all play y'all play the NFC North's 3rd team, which is the Bears, I think, and then y'all play the NFC East 3rd team, which is Washington.
Look at that. 7-10 once again. 7-10 once again. At the high, we'll go between. I'll go 9-8 to 7-10 is where we'll fall. And we'll either be the 7th seed at 9-8, or we'll just miss it at 7-10.
That actually sounds pretty accurate. Like I really don't.
Which is what I said. What perpetually middling? That's the name of this podcast. Perpetually middling. That's where we at.
Like that's pretty straight on.
We don't beat anybody that we shouldn't. Like we may catch one team that we shouldn't, and we'll lose to 2 teams that we should beat, and that's how you get to 9-8, 7-10.
Yeah, I'm agree. I pretty much agree with that. Y'all might not win the game versus our division, depending on.
Oh, that's absolutely possible too. But I think if we do that, we catch one somewhere else that we're not supposed to, and it's going to be early in the year, and people are going to be like, "Oh, the Falcons," and then it's going to be like 43-3 versus Cowboys.
And like I said, y'all division is a toss up. I don't know.
It's a toss up right now,
It's a
and
toss up.
whoever makes the best decision, not based on this coming year, but 3 years from now, will take the lead. That's because Tampa Bay is not going to be able to keep all them players, especially now that Tom gone. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to take that low money, so you about to get rid of a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, they got a lot of people, and they about to they got a chance to lose their whole offensive line. Well, 3 out of
Right.
5.
Saints is going. I don't know what the Saints contract situation is, but they may
They
decide to start
severely
over.
over, but
Right.
they've already started rearranging money. They just say like
Panthers are
$3 million.
what? Panthers are they get back
Trying to find a
McCaffrey, but
quarterback. They
right,
trying to find a quarterback.
and then it's us. Like of those four teams, who is going to be the first one to make the leap into the deep water and swim to the other side?
If the Panthers can
And it
find a
has
quarterback,
and it has always shown that it ain't never been the Falcons. If you got to swim for your life from the Titanic, it ain't us. It ain't us. Somebody, we are the people holding on to boats, and somebody gonna come get us. Mm-mm. And somebody got to jump out there and get on that old door floating and just say, "Come what may." Just like, but it won't be us. And that's the history of that. Like the NFC South, man, is like it's the battle mostly before the Saints got good of middling teams and every team having 2 or 3 years where they kind of because you remember for like 8 years they kept rotating who won
kept
the division.
rotating. Yeah.
Nobody ever won it 2 years in a row. So and there were plenty of years where the worst team wasn't that far off from the best team.
Mm-hmm.
We were squeaking in number 6, 5, 6 wild card spots for playoffs. So outside of like Bucks their year, Saints their year, Tampa Bay their year, this division has been like, man, who want to be good for 2 years? We just gotta decide. We just gotta decide. Like we had our 2 years and we didn't win no Super Bowl, but the Saints did.
Bucks did.
Carolina almost did,
Bucks did.
and the Bucks did. So I'm not really expecting us to ever be consistently great. I just want in our 3 years that we decide to be good, just give me one tub, and then y'all can be. Y'all can be. I mean, the Falcons can go be. They could have won in 16 and been asked for the rest of my life.
You get that
Truthfully,
one. You get that one. It's a
truthfully,
whole different story.
truthfully, they could have been asked for the rest of my life. And now that the Braves have won something, like I don't really need y'all to win something, but
Like I'm
but I
okay,
do.
but it'll be
Listen,
nice.
man, it'd be nice. I mean, Atlanta's not gonna ever go back to being a Braves town, like a full-on baseball town. But the way the NFL is right now, your football team has to be monstrous. Like it just has to be good. It carries everything else. Or you got to have a transcendent player in the NBA. And yeah, as your boy Bomani calls him, we got Trey the Barge.
Trade the Barnes.
We got Trey the Barge, but man, he like 6'1", 145. He's the same size I was in like seventh grade. We're like, now he can play, but we ain't beat nobody. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the sports of Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty damn accurate, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate the conversation and the history lesson
Hey
on
man, you know you get that
Atlanta.
when you talk to me.
I
Yeah.
already know. I already know that's why I had you on, man. But we're about to start closing things out, man.
Yeah.
It's your boy Zeke. You know, you can catch me on the Instagram at Fatboy Season, Twitter, Fatboy Season Inc., TikTok, Fatboy Season 1. Obviously, the YouTube page going up, Fatboy Season. I'm in there. I'm posting something somewhere essentially every day.
Yeah.
TikToks be going up. Instagram going up. You already know what it is. Long live Jareer, always and forever.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let people know where they can find you at. Because
Man.
you just crept back on IG not too long ago.
Yeah. So Facebook, Jarius Cox. I step on there every once in a while. Um, Instagram, Snapchat, Jcox_KG. I'm pretty simple, man. Like I'm never on there, but y'all come follow me. I throw some over there every once in a while.
I ain't never on there, but when I'm on there,
Yeah.
I'll see.
Yeah, and I'm in Birmingham now, so if y'all know any Skeegee people, I had to tell them to holler at me.
Shout out to the niggas in the ham. I'm pretty sure there's plenty out there.
Oh yeah, they be hiding for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
You
know how we do, man. Skeegee's everywhere anyway, so we really don't.
Very true.
You liable to run into somebody.
I seen a dude who went there for like 6 weeks for the Tuskegee my first weekend here. He said, "Man, when you graduate?" I said 13. I said, "What year you come out?" She's like, "Shit, I was there 6 weeks." I said, "So why you got those keys stuff?" He said, "You think I'm gonna wear somebody else?" I said, "You know what?
All right. That's fair
I said,
enough.
just tell folk you was there like a year, bro. Don't tell them 6
Yeah, that's fair enough. Hey, you seen Nurkic chat on the Skeegee?
Yeah, I seen that one.
Hey, look, he liable to been at Skeegee about 2 weeks.
Man, the truth about Tuskegee that I found out over time is like Tuskegee is the HBCU that a lot of people know. They won't tell you about it, and that it's yeah, you got the Howards, the Morehouses, the Spelman. Those are kind of ones that are out there.
Yeah.
But the two HBCUs, maybe even, or the two that I know for sure that have way more reach than you think are Hampton and Tuskegee.
Yeah.
You know, and folk won't say it, but you'll talk to somebody, and it's like everybody know about Tuskegee, but it's just not as out there as all the other ones. But their reach is as far and as big. It's just that where people will come out and tell you they went to Morehouse Spelman or Howard, people won't really tell you about their dealings with Tuskegee, and that was one of the things that about the school that kind of pulled me towards it. It's just that like it's spider webs everywhere, and way more than you think. So yeah, Ski. One day, man, somebody has to write a real history novel of Tuskegee, man, and like somebody's about to come out with a book about the power broker of Tuskegee, and I think it's gonna ruffle a few feathers, but it's the truth. And so, but I look forward to reading it, man, and yeah, like this school has been it's been a lot to me. Like it was the first college campus I went to where the minute I got out the car, I was like, this is a little different. And I didn't meet nobody. I didn't see nobody and talk to nobody. I got out the car and I walked like 10 steps up the Ave. And I was like, but this is a little different. Like this is a little bit different than the rest. And man, once I started talking to people, I was hooked and I wasn't going nowhere else. So yeah, man. Y'all look out for that book. If I post a book on my Instagram. If y'all come follow me, it'll be my one post for the 6 months.
First one, you on the way. Like I'll check back in about 6
months. Nah, man. See, I don't find like I don't have stuff that I feel like is postable. I feel like if I post something, it should be memorable or at least interesting. And if I don't find half the stuff that I do interesting, I know y'all ain't. But it's y'all folk a little different these days. So
we just post.
Folk rolling out of bed gets 100,000 views. I'm just like, So we'll see. We'll see what I do. The cigar was that I'm just into those. So cigar suggestions, throw them my way. Getting into some of them, see what's going on with them. But yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all I got, man. Come back to me when y'all want to talk about college football for real.
Hey, I don't know if they're ready for that, man, but this has been another episode, man. 1, 2, 3 CABO, the Atlanta Midland Falcons edition.
Perpetually.
Perpetually.
Yeah.
We are out, man.